Soon after Kingsport was incorporated in 1917, Tennessee Governor Tom Rye appointed James Wiley Dobbins as the city's first mayor. It's not surprising that this trusted friend and business associate of wealthy landowner and railroad entrepreneur George L. Carter was a natural choice for the model city's first mayor. Dobbins, already a successful Virginia farmer, had moved with his wife Lulu and their two sons, Benjamin and Flem, to Kingsport in 1906 to manage Carter's newly established Kingsport Farms, 2,200 acres of rich farmland along the Holston River that surrounded Rotherwood Mansion, where the family resided until 1915. Under J.W. Dobbins' careful supervision, the farm was enormously successful, and Rotherwood soon became the hub of local commerce and social events. During this time, J. Fred Johnson, president of the Kingsport Improvement Company, built a company store near Rotherwood on the banks of the Holston River, where the growing farm community could purchase nearly everything it needed, including coffins. Another Virginian, Wallace W. Hufford, became the store's manager and lived with his family in what is now called the Hammond House on Shirley Street. By 1910, the Big Store, as Johnson's company store was known, moved to downtown Kingsport, where it inspired the growth of new businesses and Kingsport's first residential neighborhood on Cherokee Street. In 1915, J.W. Dobbins moved with his wife, Lulu, and son, Flem, to Watauga Street in Kingsport. Dobbins' oldest son, Benjamin, remained at Rotherwood and took over management of Kingsport Farms with his new bride, Janie Bell Hufford, Wallace Hufford's sister. Over the years, Rotherwood's lavish hunting and dinner parties became popular with visiting New York financiers like John B. Dennis, who would eventually purchase Rotherwood in 1928. When his 2-year appointment as Kingsport's first mayor ended in 1919, J.W. Dobbins was elected for 3 more very busy consecutive terms. There was much to accomplish in the growing city. Under the new mayor's leadership, Kingsport became the well-planned model city initially proposed by financiers John B. Dennis and J. Fred Johnson. Always enterprising and hardworking, Mayor Dobbins became president of the Kingsport Building and Loan Association, the manager of Kingsport Stores, the first president of the Dobbins Taylor Hardware Incorporated, and during his last term as mayor, he was elected director and vice president of the organization of Kingsport Tobacco Market Incorporated. More than 2,000 people attended the mayor's funeral services at First Broad Street Methodist Church, where he had been a charter member and for 10 years the president of the men's Bible class. His record as mayor was cited in the Kingsport Times as marked by the same honest ability and high-toned business methods which characterized his private life. On the day of his funeral, Kingsport businesses and industries closed. After her husband died, Mrs. Dobbins continued to serve the Kingsport community by devoting herself to a number of civic and charitable organizations. Known affectionately as Mother Dobbins, she was a charter member of the First Broad Street Methodist Church, where she was the first president of the Women's Missionary Society. Mrs. Dobbins was a charter member of the Kingsport Book Club, the Virginia Club, and the Garden Club. When the local chapter of the Red Cross was formed, Mrs. Dobbins became its vice president. She was active in Kingsport's first Parent-Teacher Association, and for 17 years she served tirelessly as a member of the Board of Education. Mrs. Dobbins died in 1951, leaving a lasting legacy of love and pride for her community and the people in it. While his brother Benjamin managed Kingsport Farms, Flem Dobbins partnered with George W. Taylor in 1922 to create the Dobbins Taylor Hardware Company, which eventually expanded throughout Sullivan County to include several stores featuring furniture, appliances, wholesale items, and jewelry. It was Flem Dobbins who suggested the idea for the Santa train, which still makes its annual excursion distributing Christmas gifts and candy to children along the old Clinchfield Railroad line. Today, the Dobbins name is not only part of Kingsport's first 100 years, but the family's legacy of tireless dedication to their fledgling community is the source and embodiment of what we know today as the Kingsport spirit. For more information about Kingsport's history, visit the Kingsport Public Library at 400 Broad Street, or visit us online at kingsportlibrary.org.